Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm Tequila B with TruLuv Designs, and today we are going to review my Make 9 for 2022. What I was able to make and accomplish, and what I was not able to accomplish, and why. So let's get started. So the first pattern is McCall's L9507. This is a excuse me, a Mrs. Duster pattern, and I had high hopes for this pattern and I was really interested in making it, and I found a really nice fabric. But once I got the pattern home, got the fabric home, I realized how slippery this fabric was and how difficult it might be to work with, and I never gotten around to making it. And my goal was to just kind of practice with it and eventually make it, but I never did. And the fabric that I picked up was a small bundle at Walmart. This fabric here, you can see that. And it's very thin and see-through, but I guess I could have just made the pattern in a different fabric, something thicker, more stable that I could work with, because I really just want a duster. So I could have done that, but I didn't. So next pattern, Simplicity 8513. This is a bodysuit pattern, and I've watched Brittany J. Jones weekly. She did a series where she did each view of the bodysuit, and I was so interested in making a bodysuit because I love bodysuits. And I still haven't done it, but what I did do, I did get all the pattern pieces cut out of the tissue paper, not out of the fabric, but I did get the tissue paper cut, and so I am one step closer to getting my bodysuit made. Next pattern is Simplicity S9385, which is the Mrs. Knit Tops. And this is the sweater top that I did make. Yay for me. I was able to accomplish that, and I love it. And I'm telling you guys, I get so much wear out of that top. I'm afraid I'm just going to wear it out. So I probably should be looking at making another one of those, since it is that type of weather and I like turtlenecks. So I think I'll be pushing out another one of those very soon. It was really easy to make. Front and back bodice, your sleeves, your cuffs, and then your excuse me, your the bottom band to the shirt. Very easy and simple to sew. Next pattern is Simplicity 8915. This is a Mimi G pattern. It's a dress that I was able to push out back in the summer, I believe in June. And I really love that fabric. And one thing that I did learn about the fabric I used was that it was more like an activewear or swimwear material. But it worked really great for this dress. I like the fit. And I will be making another one of these. Not the same view. This time I'll probably make view A because it's a little more everyday-ish, and I can just kind of cut off the mermaid tail. Next pattern is Mimi G Style Simplicity S8830. This is a shirt dress, and I love shirt dresses. Guys, I had the best intentions of making most of these patterns, but I did not realize how fearful I was of buttons and buttonholes. And this pattern calls for, excuse me, 15 to 16 buttons. And you all know I'm not ready for that. So that's why this pattern didn't get made. So it will not go back on my list for my Make 9 2023 because I haven't gotten down the scale of buttons and buttonholes. So I don't want to put anything on my list that is going to stress me out. Next pattern is a Simplicity pattern. It's a So Simple, the letter A, 8495, and this is a coat pattern. Now, I had all intentions of making this because it only has one button. But again, I haven't accomplished a buttonhole. But what I do think I'm going to do is at least get started, get most of it made. while I continue working on my buttons and buttonholes. And then when I'm ready to add that button on, then I work on that part. I think that's the best way for me to kind of approach some of my button patterns at this time, but we'll see. The next pattern was Simplicity S9463, another Mimi G pattern. It is also a shirt dress pattern with belt. And this pattern called for 13 buttons. Again, not ready for the buttons, so that one did not make the cut. Next pattern is Mimi G style for Simplicity S8655. It is a high-waisted slim or bell-bottom pant and tie front top. Now, I really love the top on this pattern, and I could have been and made that. I don't know why I haven't, but I think it's gonna kind of be at the top of my Make 9 2023 list. And the bottoms didn't seem too complicated, as it calls for invisible zipper. I have done invisible zippers, and I did say before that they come out okay. I do pretty good, but they're not the best. So I could still use some work on that. So I would give these pants a try because I do know how to do a zipper. I'm just not as good as I want to be at them yet. And then I think the top also calls for bias tape, which is one thing that did kind of keep me from making that top. I haven't worked with bias tape. I did buy some bias tape and try to practice, but the tutorial that I found, I really couldn't. I tried to follow it, and I don't know if I was doing it right or not. It just didn't look right to me. So I'm not really comfortable with the bias tape yet, but I am willing to give it another try. So I think this will be on my Make 9 2023, but we'll talk about that in another video. The final pattern from my Make 9 2022 was Simplicity 1538, and this is a excuse me. This is a Mrs. shirt with sleeve and fabric variations. It does have buttons, and this is, I believe, course number 11 in the Sewing Academy, which is currently where I am. So I know I can skip around courses, but I know that each lesson builds on the previous lesson, so I really don't want to skip. I want to do everything in order and go from there. So I think I am going to go ahead and tackle this pattern. Like I said, if I'm not comfortable with the button and buttonholes, I will sit it to the side and complete that part at a different time. I don't think that will necessarily keep me from moving on to the next course. So this one, you can look for this one to be coming out soon, and it will be on my Make 9 2023 because it is definitely getting made. So what I did decide to do was not really New Year's resolutions or anything like that, but I am going to set a goal to have at least one pattern with buttons and buttonholes completed by the end of March. I did say the end of March, but because I lost so much time in January just being sick and not being able to do anything, I'm thinking about pushing that to the end of April. I want to give myself enough time to really be comfortable with the skill that I'm learning. So I think that's how I'm going to tackle this project. I'm going to get as much of it done as I can. If I'm not comfortable with the button and buttonholes, I will set it to the side and complete it by April 30th. So if you've noticed the theme here, the only thing that really kept me from making a lot of these patterns was just the fear of tackling a new skill. And I don't know why. Most of the time, once I've done it, I kind of, fuss at myself because I'm like, oh, that was easy. I could have tried that a long time ago and just been done. But hey, it is what it is. Uh-oh, wait a minute. So I only completed 2 of 9 of my Make 9 2022 patterns. It sounds kind of awful when I say it out loud, but hey, it is what it is. I am praying for better in 2023, and my 2023 list will be compiled a little bit differently than how I put 2022's list together. So stay tuned because that video is coming up soon.